Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Troller. 1972 to 1975.
Game 370, Yankees at Orioles.
Welcome back, baseball fans. 1972-75 Carryover League. We are back in the American League East with a best-of-7 series between the Yankees and the Orioles. Two teams that have been struggling this year. We got a lot to talk about. It's been a long series. We'll take you right into Game 1. What happened? Battle of number 4 starters. Jim McAndrew for the Yankees, acquired through the Mets. Baylor Moore added into the Dave McNally trade from the Expos for the Orioles. And in this one, the Yankees get an RBI single in the first. Baltimore gets solo homers by Blair and Singleton. An RBI double by Stick Michael. It's 2-2. Orioles add a run in the third on a two-base error by Elliot Maddox. 3-2 Orioles. They add runs in the 5th and 7th innings. 5-2 Orioles. Baylor Moore pitches very well. This is a guy who had a lot of promise in the early 70s, the top lefty in the Expos system. Then he got hurt. Then he disappeared into the minor leagues, resurfaced in the late 70s for Toronto. Did well today, 6 1/3, 8 hits, 2 runs, a walk and 5 Ks, and a victory. McAndrew, promising Met pitcher who kind of faded as well. Very similar stories. But 6 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. Baltimore wins Game 1, 5-2. Game 2 in Baltimore. Can they protect home field? And it is Mel Stottlemyre and Jim Palmer. In the 5th inning, Bernie Allen solo homer, ballgame. That's it. That's it. Jim Palmer, he gave up a single and that. And he lost. Complete game. 2 hits, a run, 4 walks, 5 Ks. But Mel Stottlemyre stymied this lifeless Baltimore offense on a 2-hitter. 2-hit shutout for Mel Stottlemyre. The Yankees get a split. 1-1 heading to the Bronx. Orioles in a hitting slump, and it continues. Game 3, it's Mike Cuellar versus Doc Medich. In this game, it's the Fred Kendall game. Fred Kendall, acquired from the Padres as a free agent, backing up Munson. They're both playing today. Kendall's a DH. So what does he do? He hits a 2-run homer, then a sac fly in the 4th, and what's he do in the 6th inning? 3-run homer. All off of Cuellar. 6 innings, 8 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. But the bigger story is, once again, Baltimore. 2-hit shutout. This time, it's Doc Medich. The Orioles have 4 runs. Excuse me. No, they don't. They have 4 hits in the last 18 innings. Have been shut out twice now. Medich, 2-hit shutout with 5 strikeouts, no walks. And the Yankees take a series lead 2-1. Game 4 in the Bronx. Much more of the same. It is Milt Pappas, pitched for Baltimore in the 60s, returned here against Mike Kekich, the weakest Yankee pitcher. Doesn't matter. In this game, the Orioles actually got 5 hits. They got a Bobby Grich solo homer in the 4th. They got a garbage time solo homer by Dick Sharon in the 9th. That's their offense. That's the 2 runs in 3 games. Yankees had more than enough in the first few innings. Double, single, double, single. Single, double, single. 4-0, 5-2 is the final. Kekich got through 6 innings with just 4 hits, 1 run allowed, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. One of his better starts you're ever going to find out of Kekich. Sparky Lyle and Lenny McDaniel finished this game. And the Orioles are fading, and fading hard. 3-1 Yankees. Can the Yankees do the dagger in Game 5? Pretty much blow a hole into the Orioles season altogether. Jim Palmer, Stottlemyre rematch. In this game, you have a Mark Belanger sac fly in the second inning, 1-zip. And then we see a new hero emerging in Baltimore. His name is Tom Hutton, who played first base for Philadelphia, was acquired as a free agent, slick fielding defensive type first baseman, kind of in the mood of a Tony Muser, who the Orioles also acquired in traditional MLB to platoon with or backup Lee May at first base. But anyway, Tom Hutton in this thing, after a walk on fielder's choice, boom, 2-run blast, 3-0. With a 3-0 lead, Jim Palmer immediately loads the bases with a single and 2 walks with nobody out. Survives the inning with a sac fly. A Belanger error reloads the bases, but then he gets a Greg Nettles pop out and a Bernie Allen ground out. So keep it 3-1. You get a double single in the 8th to make it 3-2. In the 9th inning, Palmer and Strat-O-Matic have complete games again. Walk to stick Michael, but he gets Roy White to hit a ground ball to Bobby Grich. That's going to be a double play to end the game. Baltimore gets a win in the Bronx. Yankees are leading the series 3-2. Baltimore will have home field technically going back for game 6 and 7 if necessary. Palmer 9 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts. Strat-O-Matic, very similar, 9 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 6 walks, 1 strikeout. So even though it was a low-scoring game, 3-2, these two starter 8, starter 9 pitchers put 11 walks up there, but pitched masterfully around them. They didn't get blown out. So when we return to Baltimore for a game 6, we get kind of a fun, wild game here. It's going to be McAndrew, Baylor Moore 2, the rematch. In the first inning, after a couple strikeouts, you get a Bobby Mercer single, Munson 2-run homer, then a fly ball to Al Bunbury, he drops it. Fred Kendall, RBI single, 3-0 immediately off Baylor Moore. Not a good start. Kenny Singleton homers in the bottom of the second inning. It's 3-1. And then in the bottom of the 4th inning, after a couple walks, here's our boy Tom Hutton, the big hero of game 5, becomes a partial hero in game 6. 3-run homer. Baltimore has a 4-3 lead. Baylor Moore can't get completely through the 5th inning without surrendering a game-tying homer to Elliot Maddox. Baylor Moore's final line, 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, a walk, and 4 Ks. McAndrew goes through 5 2/3, 4 hits and 4 runs, did walk 7, struck out 3. So you have a tie game into the 7th inning. Baltimore goes to their bullpen, Wayne Garland. He gives up a triple 1-2 to Alomar, gets the triple. So immediately Baltimore brings the infield up. And of course, Gene Michael rolls the plus to get the garbage run, take the lead 5-4. But in the bottom of the 8th inning, Belanger is the scheduled batter. Baltimore goes to a pinch hitter. Doug DeCinces, 2-8 on his card. His triple 1-16, he gets it. Runner at third, nobody out. And our boy Tom Hutton delivers an RBI single to tie the game. After a fly out, Canizero gets a single off of the Fred Bean card. Puts runners on the corners. They bring the infield up. Doesn't matter. Al Bunbury gets a sac fly. Baltimore takes a 6-5 lead. Meanwhile, Grant Jackson had come on in the 8th inning, the Baltimore closer, and got 6 straight outs for a victory. And in a kind of kooky, I don't know. I mean, it's a game 7 today of 2 teams that just are not certainly not consistent. Great pitching. I'm not going to argue that, but the offenses are just stagnant, up and down. Let's take a look at the standings here. Almost wasn't going to broadcast this, folks. That's how almost pointless this seems to be. So here we are in the American League East. The Yankees just having a disastrous year, 9-15. Most assuredly going to be in the last place at the All-Star break. Baltimore would really like to win the series in this Game 7 to at least be a game over 500 and be within striking distance of the Red Sox for the postseason tournament and a possible playoff appearance. Because you look at the other teams, Expos, Tigers, Royals, White Sox. Of course, the A's are running away with this thing out here. You know, Baltimore still has a shot. And they've played 30 games. They are what they are. They're a 500 team that's played 30 of a possible 34. The most games you could play before the All-Star break is 34, and Baltimore is going to be playing their 31st. So they've been maximizing these series and getting splits. Game 7 here in Baltimore. And we got a matchup of Doc Medich for the Yankees. The Doctor. He is in 73, 14-9, 291 ERA, and 235 innings. He bursts onto the scene with probably his best year. And Mike Cuellar in 72, 18-game winner with a 258 ERA and 248 innings. Actually pitched better than he did when the Orioles were going to the World Series because they had better offenses then. And Cuellar didn't get the run support he normally would get. And well, speaking of run support, you've witnessed some 2-hit games by Baltimore already in this series. Let's get started for a Game 7. Don't see these very often on the channel. Ron Swoboda. 2-7, single 1-4. He lines out. Elliot Maddox, 47 is a strikeout. Bobby Mercer, 37 is a strikeout. Bottom of the first. Bobby Grich leads off, 65, rolls the second. Chris Cannizzaro inserted into the 2 spot because his card has a lot of walks on it. 68, Sky's the center. And Al Bumbry, 65, strikes out. This has been the lineup they've used in the last 2 victories, so they're going to roll with it. Munson, 54, lines the first. Greg Nettles, 410, pops the third. Fred Kendall, 57, is a strikeout. Bottom of 2, Brooks Robinson. 1-6, Brooksy off his card. Double 1-2 is a base hit. Lee May. 1-4 is a sky to center. Ken Singleton. 1-7 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Paul L.D. Blair. 45 off of Medich. I want to say Kekich. You have a Medich and a Kekich on this team. 4-5 off Medich is a pop to first. We go to the third. Chris Chambliss. 34. Pops the first. Sandy Alomar, 57 Ks. Stick Michael, 69. Skies to center field. 9 up and down for Cuellar. Really like how these 2 teams are lowering my league ERA. For what that's worth. Mark Belanger, 36. Rolls a short. Tom Hutton. The fans are going nuts for their new little Zenith lightning in a bottle guy who's fame and fortune will probably end today, I'm guessing. 211, lines a second. Or if you keep it going, that would really be a story, wouldn't it? Bobby Grich, 45, pops the first. Top of the fourth. Ron, I'm going to get you on a Swoboda China. 4-4, bouncer to third, but Brooksy's there as a 1. Makes the play. Elliot Maddox, 46, second X. Another 1. This one is Grich. Makes the play. Bobby Mercer, 5'11", and to short. Why not? There's a 1 there as well. All the 1s are being tested today, and they, of course, all deliver for Baltimore. Brooks Robinson, Mark Belanger, and Bobby Grich all handle the ground balls. Bottom of the fourth, as Cuellar is perfect. Chris Cannizzaro, 66, single 1-6. Gets it off the Medich card. Al Bumbry. 1-6, let's take a look at the 1973 American League Rookie of the Year. Bumbry emerged in this year, as did another obscure name, Rich Coggins. They both hit 337 and 319 to give a boost to the Baltimore outfield, which would say goodbye to Frank Robinson and give Paul Blair a more diminished role. But Bumbry will stay with the Orioles all the way through the early 80s and a World Series championship in 83. 1-6 here, double 1-5 is a base hit, and Cannizzaro ends up at third. Baltimore with an opportunity to be ahead in this series, something they haven't been since Game 1. Runners on the corners, nobody out. They're going to play back. Brooks Robinson. 290 pops out to third. Lee May. 1-9, he strikes out, and with 2 outs, it's Ken Singleton. 39 is a walk. The bases are loaded for Paul Blair. And here is the pitch. 2-7. Let's take a look at the Blair card of 1974. He hit 17 home runs, which is a resurgence because he struggled. Got hit by the pitch. Very terrible, scary-looking injury. And then his batting average was never the same after that, or his power. But he's okay in 74 with 17 dingers, a 261 average. 2-7 is single one to 12. Line out the rest, and he cannot convert. We look up. There's an 18. Tough break for the Orioles as Blair's line drive single is snagged by second baseman Alomar. And we remain scoreless into the fifth. Thurman Munson will lead off. 4-4 of Cuellar, third X. Keep testing Baltimore's infield. Good luck with that. I wouldn't want to be doing that sort of thing. New York. Greg Nettles, 210, rolls to the pitcher. And Fred Kendall, 68, and there it goes. Off the Cuellar card, a clean double 1-7 single. That's a base hit. Smattering of applause as Cuellar sees his no-hitter and perfecto go away. Chris Chambliss, 410, pops to third base. One hitter, scoreless, bottom of the fifth. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay, it's anybody's game to just take with some semblance of offense. Mark Belanger, 1-6, rolls to short. Tom Hutton, 2-6. Well, he's still chipping away. Single 1 to 8 on his card, and he gets it with a 6. Hutton won with a 3-game hitting streak. Back up top to Bobby Grich. 5-10 is catcher's X. You got Munson, a 1-7. Wild pitch on a one catcher. Big moment there. So you got a runner in scoring position for Chris Cannizzaro. 5-11. Pitcher X, Medich. E31, kind of shaky out there fielding his position. But he makes the play on the paren. So that high E rating didn't hurt him in this particular case. Scoreless affair. Into the sixth we go. Briskly. Sandy Alomar. 56. Short X. Belanger knows what Cuellar knows what he's doing. Get the ball to Belanger and Brooksy and Grich as often as possible. Gene Michael, 2-2. Pops to third. And Swoboda, 5-12. Struck him out. One batter over the minimum. Bottom of the sixth. Medich is put, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over the minimum. It's Al Bunbury. 39, he walks. Do you steal here? Get something started against the -3 arm catcher. No, but Brooks Robinson, how about a hit and run? He's been good at that in previous years. Brooksy, on the hit and run, advances the runner with an 8 roll. So Bunbury's at second. For the slugging Lee May. 37's a strikeout. And with 2 outs, it's Kenny Singleton. 39 will be another walk. Putting the pressure again on squarely on the shoulders of Paul Blair, who hit his card but missed the result. 43, right X. But you got a great defender there. Elliot Maddox is a 1-6, and he makes the grab. Scoreless in a game 7. Let me think about, the 1991 World Series? Was that scoreless between Minnesota and Atlanta? And then they got a sac fly in the bottom of the 10th. Jack Morris pitched 10 innings. So we have starter 7s and starter 8s, so neither pitcher can go 10. Both teams boast outstanding bullpens. So we could be here a while, folks. Bring a sleeping bag and some potable water. We could be forever trying to get a run in this. Elliot Maddox, 58. And finally, a hit off the Cuellar card in the 5 column. Triple 1 to 2. Base hit. Bobby Mercer, 45. Left. Munson, 2-8 is a 6-4-3 double play. Baltimore's defense in the infield just eating it up, gobbling up ground ball after ground ball. Stretch time in Baltimore. Nothing on the scoreboard. Stretch time music. We've been enjoying listening to this Crack the Sky LP. Safety in Numbers. Kind of halfway through their discography. Crack the Sky played on the radio in Maryland in this timeline. Became big in Baltimore. Lighten Up McGraw. Nuclear Apathy. Great LP. by Crack the Sky. Not from Baltimore, but became their, adopted sons of rock and roll, I guess. Bottom of the 7th, Medich will continue. He's done very well in 2 starts against them. He had the 2-hit shutout earlier. Doc Medich is now strung together 15 scoreless innings. And that's because he dominates righties, not so much against lefties. And the Orioles only have Bunbury, Singleton, and our boy Tom Hutton from the south side, from the left-handers batter's box on this team. That's something they've got to work on in the offseason. Mark Belanger will lead off. 65 off Medich. He rolls the second. Tom Hutton, 46. And there's another base hit for Tommy. He is 2 for 3. Bobby Grich, 56. And it's double 1-4 fly ball. Big moment. And he rolled a 15. And now 2 outs. And it's Chris Canizero, 53. Comebacker to the mound. 8th inning. Cuellar's breaking point inning. Greg Nettles, 46. Short X. Belanger again. Not going to happen. Fred Kendall, 57. Struck him out. And Chambliss, 2-8. There's a single. And Sandy Alomar, 2-4. A sky to shallow center field. No, this is not soccer. This is baseball. You're supposed to get a run or 2 or 3. But it looks like, yeah. Bunbury leads off in the 8th. 1-6. We saw the card earlier. Double 1-5. That's a base hit. And like we did in the 6th, we're going to attempt a hit and run. This is going to end up where Paul Blair is going to have a clutch moment for the 3rd straight inning. 3rd straight at bat is what it's foreshadowing to here. Robinson will do the hit and run. And Brooksy rolls the 5 on the hit and run and gets the hit and run single right at the present perfect moment on the corners. Medich is about to break. And he's throwing a shutout. But still. I guess you'll let him pitch to Lee May. The infield up. 1-6, and no, it didn't really matter. He rolled on his own card. Let's take a look at Lee May's card. Oh, 1-6. Now you do, if you bring in a lefty, it's a double. But you didn't. You stuck with Medich because he was throwing a shutout. Lee May finally connects for a home run here. One of his 29 dingers he had in 72. Remember, in the offseason, we moved all those first basemen much sooner than they actually moved. We got Lee May off the Reds. The Astros didn't want him because they had Bob Watson. So Lee May went to Baltimore. Baltimore sent Boog Powell to Cleveland. Cleveland sent Chris Chambliss to the Yankees. 2 of those guys are playing today, Chambliss and Lee May. Anyway, 1-6. That is gone deep into the Baltimore night. 3-0 Orioles, as they're going to come back from 3-1, we think. Bullpen is warming. The Cuellar's been brilliant. And Medich, unfortunately, he flings his glove in disgust in the dugout. He pitched brilliantly through 7 frames, and it came apart here in the 8th. And the Yankees will put Sparky Lyle out there to get through the rest of the 8th inning. Sparky Lyle, first year in New York, coming from Boston. 9-5, 192 ERA in 108 innings. Great bullpen by the Yankees. They have 2 guys with ERAs below 2. Fred Bean and Sparky Lyle. And he will face Kenny Singleton. Here's the pitch to Kenny. 2-6 is 1-1 base hit, and he rolls 1-1. Well, it's coming up Orioles here in the 8th inning. A bunning Paul Blair. They'll bring the infield up. 49 is a walk. They're on the corners. A bunning Mark Belanger. They'll keep the infield up. 410 center X. Will this be a sac fly off a 1 center fielder, a 1E3? And it is. So we've gotten some breaks, have the Orioles, on the, what was it, the Munson wild pitch, and now Mercer surrenders the sac fly. 4-0 Baltimore. Runner at first, 1 out. Tom Hutton will stay in the game. He's a good defender. 3-6 center. And back up top to Bobby Grich. 1-7 for Grich is a walk. 2 on, 2 outs. Canizero, 64, short X. 334. That's a single dot. That reloads the bases. Bunbury will bat for a second time. 3-6 against a lefty, though, is a strikeout. Okay. Stays 4-zip. Baltimore had an opportunity to really blow this thing apart and didn't do it. Defensively, Baltimore's going to make some moves to improve their outfield defense. Sharon will go into right field. Singleton goes to DH. Hutton will go from first to left. Lee May goes from DH to first. So no 4s on Baltimore's defense. They started the game with Bunbury and Singleton as 4s in the corner. They've been replaced by 3s. Cuellar has a 4-0 lead in the 9th inning with 3 outs to get. Dyer, Miller, Grant Jackson warming. Gene Michael leads off. 111 rolls to third. Back up top to Swoboda. 65. Skies to center field. And with 2 outs, Elliot Maddox, 52. Skies to right field, and Mike Cuellar delivers for Baltimore in a Game 7. And Baltimore is still alive. They have survived a rocky journey to the All-Star game, but they are still alive for in the postseason tournament and the playoffs. It could have been disastrous, going down 3-1 to the Yankees. Then they're 2 games under 500, and they rip off 3 straight wins, and they've won their 3rd series in a row, though certainly not dominating like the Orioles once did. No sirree. They are 1972, they were 80-74, and they're kind of playing like that in their season here. Let's do the box. Cuellar, one of the best starts of the year. 3-hit shutout with 6 Ks. No walks. 2 batters over the minimum with a double play in there. Sparky Lau came on in the 8th. Did give up a hit, a run, 2 walks and a K. And Medic went through 7 fine. Takes the defeat. Does give up 9 hits. The 3 runs in the 8th inning that were the Lee May homer. 1009, 0108, 41003. 0655 5506. And we'll take a look at the post game here and see how the Orioles might be stacking up. I mean, the Orioles and the Detroit Tigers, it's hard to kill those teams, folks. It really is. They're both declining. The Tigers fall really hard in the mid-70s. Orioles don't fall that hard, and they come back to get to a 79 series, win it in 83. Of course, the Tigers win the 84 World Series of those 2 franchises. Yankees are just stumbling along during the renovation years, during the Gene Locklear years. Reggie's in Oakland for a few more years. So, all right, Baltimore. They are 16-15. They are hitting .238. They have a .385 team ERA, which is kind of high for them. Jim Palmer has pitched in bad luck all year. He's 4-5, but he's got 6 complete games, and his ERA is around 3, right around 3. Cuellar's 4-3. Again, you're not going to see anything significant here, pitching-wise or hitting-wise. Homers, I guess we got 6 homers for Kenny Singleton and 20 RBIs by Singleton. He's hitting around 250. Baltimore's going to have to figure out who to send to the All-Star game. Maybe they just get 1 lone representative, which is stunning as a fall from grace there. And the Yankees' dismal season continues. They are now 9-16. They're out of it. Hitting .249 with a .348 ERA. Both those stats are slightly better than Baltimore's. Yankees have scored 87 runs, given up 100, though. Speaking of which, what was Baltimore's net runs? Baltimore scored 124, but gave up 134. So these are 2 losing franchises. Orioles are lucky to be over 500. Stottlemyre 2-5, Medic 2-4. Sparky Lau only has 2 saves. No Yankee hitter has 3 home runs. Bunch of guys with 1 or 2. Nobody with 20 ribbies in 25 games. Just a mess. Just ugly to look at. So let's get through the end of this thing here. There we are in the American League East. Not a good year for most of it. Actually, the Blue Jays They got a chance, folks. They went to the playoffs a year ago. A fictionalized version because they didn't come into existence until 1977. We put together a pretty nice team for them. They made it as a wild card a year ago. They're at 500 this year with a lesser talented team. But the whole division has regressed, except for Boston. Boston is very talented. They just added Freddie Lynn and Cecil Cooper. It appears that this is their division. Just don't stumble. Don't shoot yourself in your foot, Boston. You got this thing kind of locked up. Anyway, today we've got to break up the Baltimore Orioles. They won another series by the skin of their teeth, beating the Yankees 4-3. Thanks for checking this out, and we'll see you next time.